Today's guest is a humanistic digital entrepreneur whose online businesses have drawn in over $50 million in sales, earning him a spot on the Inc. 500 list 2 times as CEO and founder of one of the fastest growing companies in America. His passion is to combine ancient wisdom with the newest digital technology to transform the way that we learn and evolve. Today's guest, Amish Shah. That's a big intro.
Yeah, that's big.
There's actually more because you've accomplished so much in your life in the short time that you've been here, and I was trying to narrow it down. But and you've been my mentor for the past year or so. So
Yeah,
I definitely want to add that with digital marketing and everything. And you have a very interesting story.
So it's interesting, yeah.
You do.
Everyone always tells me you should make a movie about it, so I might do that.
Yeah. Well, do you want to share how this began with like computers and technology? Because you've always had a passion for that as a kid.
Sure, yeah. Even growing up, like I grew up in New Jersey, so regular kind of Jersey household, small. My parents moved from India like in 1976 or something to America, so kind of immigrant kind of, but I was born here. So I'm first generation, I guess you could say.
Right.
And so we didn't grow up with much money, just kind of getting by, lower to maybe middle kind of income. And so I always had to figure out a way to kind of make money.
Right.
So ever since I was a little kid, I always figured out a way to make money, whether it was like selling Christmas cards door to door or working at, delivering newspapers, mowing lawns, shoveling snow. And so I was always kind of had that kind of thing in me, like, oh, I got to support the family, basically.
Wow.
So when I was, I don't know, I think 7 or 8, I got my first computer.
Wow.
It was an old school Apple with the big, monitors and all that. So I was really just...
Which is crazy, by the way, because I don't think I got my first computer until I was like 20.
Yeah. This was like 1987.
Yeah, that's early.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, wow, like this thing... You put a disc in, and then all of a sudden it does stuff. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it just fascinated me. And so, growing up, I just figured out kind of, getting more and more involved in technology. I just love technology. And I guess when I was around 13 or 14, I started figuring out how to get online. So this is like in the 90s, 93, 94, like pre-boom internet days. You had to use like a modem to dial in, like America Online. And you remember all that stuff. So I got really good at it, and by the time I was 16, I got really good, and we were doing some really interesting stuff on the internet. And before I knew it, the FBI and the police were at my house. There was like a search warrant for my home, and this guy like kind of held up a sign. He's like, "Are you Amish Shah?" And I'm like 16.
Wow.
So I'm in like high school.
Did you know what you were doing?
Yeah, I knew.
So what were you doing? you were hacking into...
We were hacking into like phone systems and banks and government agencies and that.
Which for some reason, to me, is really cool. The fact that you could do that, I'm like, okay, this is interesting.
So we didn't do anything like malicious. It was just more for curiosity.
Right.
The curiosity led to doing some interesting stuff with credit cards and stuff we shouldn't have been doing.
Right.
So that's how they kind of caught on to us, and then they came to my house and they arrested me. Wow. There was like, I don't know, 10 cop cars, 15 agents, bulletproof vests, the whole deal, just turning my house upside down. So it was like a movie, pretty much.
Wow.
And they're like taking pictures of everything for evidence, and I'm like, holy crap, what's going on? So anyway, long story short, I got, the court case was, I was 16 years old, so I was a minor, basically. Everyone in my neighborhood knew that it was me. It was in the newspapers, it was on TV, it was on like, it was on like CNN, it was everywhere, basically.
Wow.
But they said 2 minors from New Jersey were caught. So I had 19 charges against me when I went to court. And if I was 18 years old, it would have been 7 years per count, which would probably mean like 60 to 70, if not more years, or lifetime, pretty much in jail.
Wow.
So the judge at the time, this was 96, 97, basically said, I don't even know what the internet really is. And like, I can't believe that like you figured this out and you get pretty good grades, like decent grades, and you run track and all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a good kid, I swear.
Yeah.
I was kind of a bad not bad, but misfit, kind of acting out kid just because of my household scenario, basically. And so, anyway, that led me to get only 2 years probation, luckily. 100 hours of community service, washing police cars and just
Wow.
sweeping the floors and stuff
And you
like
had to
that.
be monitored on a computer or something,
Yeah, I
right? Like
wasn't
you
allowed
couldn't,
to use a
you weren't
computer.
allowed, yeah.
Yeah, and like in 1997, if you were in high school or any school, they made every student in America sign a waiver that they won't use computers for bad purposes.
That's your fault.
So that's that's all courtesy of me. Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
that's kind of like just one part of the story.
But I think that seed, because then eventually, when your 20s is when
Yeah.
you started like
I started online marketing. Yeah.
Online
I
marketing.
just kind of stepped away from computers, but I knew I was good at them, so I used it to like, I got a job. I did the whole corporate route. I worked for some pretty big companies like Morgan Stanley. Funnily enough, America Online.
Oh,
I
wow.
worked for them. Maybe they knew, maybe they didn't. I
Yeah.
don't know. But either way, I learned a lot through that process. And I was
Right.
like, yeah, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like I can't work for someone else and like climb the corporate ladder when like I know I feel like I know I can do so much more.
Right.
And it was around that time also that I got into like spirituality and just that whole kind of world. It was something that was definitely in my blood. My parents are from India.
Right.
So it's like that was always a part of my household growing up, but I got more involved in it.
Did you like push away from it though when you were a kid?
Going home and eating Indian food and then
Right.
going out and playing basketball with my boys was like, it was like living two different lives, you
Yeah.
know? And every now and then we'd have these like rituals at home. They'd put like the bindi on my head and
Right.
they're like, what's that on your head? You know?
Yeah. You didn't want to, I think kids in general don't want to be different anyway. So
That's kind of what it was.
yeah.
And back then, I don't think yoga and meditation were as big as it is now. Back then it was kind of like you were laughed at almost, or you're like a hippie or like one
Yeah.
of those. Like, that's one of the two options. But now it's like way more prevalent.
Now it's like, are you a guru?
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, that was kind of how it all got started. And, I did feel a little bit out of place when it came to that. But, my mom was very spiritual. And so that's what kind of led me into it. And I said, I don't want to be locked down to like this world. So like when I was 16 and that whole thing happened and we're having trouble with money in the household, I remember my mom went to India, brought home a book because my dad couldn't keep like a consistent job, and it was just about how to change your energy and influence energies of like different deities. And now in hindsight I understand it's more energy based than it is like worshiping a god or a goddess, but it was
Wow.
about this goddess and Lakshmi, which
Yeah.
is like the energy of wealth. And so she started practicing this ritual and just reading these like things just to better your mind and teaching them to us. And sure enough, like it was weird as it sounds, like 6 months later my dad had a job and he just retired from that job in like January.
Wow.
So he had the same job for like 15 to 20 years since that day, basically.
Wow.
And so I was fascinated by that. I'm like, does that really work? So I went back through that book and I saw a geometric symbol. So here's pictures of like goddesses and like all these lectures about how to be a good human and attract wealth and abundance. And there's this geometric symbol and I'm like, what is this? Like I get math, I get like symbols, like what is all this? So that led me on like
Our
this
brain works so
crazy-
differently, by the way.
I know, right? It's like completely different.
I like the goddess. I'm like, ah.
Yeah. And so I was like, what is that about? Because I know the goddess stuff was like cool and I understood it, but I was like, it seemed very intangible. Like well, my logic didn't connect what that actually meant. But the geometric symbol was like, okay, like what's that about? And how do you use that to create wealth? And so that led me on this kind of like crazy goose chase, I guess you could say, like down the rabbit hole I went. And that led me on this journey of just self-discovery, self-awareness, how to attract things you want. The symbol was called the Sri Yantra, and the Sri Yantra converted into English means instrument of creation or instrument of wealth.
Wow.
So I started kind of utilizing this symbol in my life and practicing what it's about. And I was like, I can't keep this job anymore. And then that's when I started my online, kind of just tinkering online a little bit. And by the time I was 24, I had probably made my first $1 million, and I quit my job. And
Wow.
like, yeah, it was like I was like, holy crap, did I just do that? And like, I don't need this job anymore. And I'm like, I'm only 24. So I did that for the next couple of years, just kind of laying low. It was me, and like I had one other employee that was like a contractor, and it was like it's way easier than the internet is nowadays. This
Right.
is like 2000.
You were on the
2,
forefront, though, of, I
2003.
feel like, of what everybody's doing now. It's
Now,
like
exactly.
straight to consumer. And
Yeah, exactly.
digital marketing.
It was so different back then.
Yeah.
No one was doing it, so it
Right.
was easy. And so, yeah, I was young and kind of making a lot of money and just partied a lot and didn't really think about I thought about it as a business and a way to make money, but I didn't think about the impact I was having on people. And so, within a short span of like, I think I want to say 8 years or less than 8 years, yeah, from 2004 to about 2010, so 6 years. 2011, we had done over $20 million in sales and
Wow.
like revenue as a company. And along that journey, basically, I had moved to California. I bought a Ferrari. I bought a
Living the
Maserati.
life.
I bought a house in La Jolla overlooking the ocean. And here I
Wow.
was, like, balling. I was like
Yeah.
partying, going to Vegas, just partying, bottles, the deal, like what everyone thinks once you make money, what you should do with the money. So that's what I did. And little did I know that I was completely depressed. At some point, I was suicidal, and I was probably about 30 pounds heavier than I am right now. And it was just all water weight and like alcohol and like just nastiness. My mind was in a funk. Me and my business partner were going head to head. I was being sued by like 3 different companies. Like, it was like the bottom of the pit, basically. And I was just like, I surrender. I just gave up right there. And, I went to the doctor. The doctor's like, your liver's about to explode. You have high cholesterol.
Wow.
I was 29, and he said, you have 370 cholesterol. He's like, you're the second and highest in my office.
Wow.
And he's like, you're going to die. And I was like, okay, like, I get your point. So I surrendered right there. And I was just like, just started asking like for help, basically, to the universe. I didn't even know what to do. And that's when I revisited this symbol, and I took on my meditation practice and took on like just eating healthy and
Went back to your roots.
I went back to like what I knew, where I felt good. Like, I was like, oh my God, I never felt like suicidal. Maybe when I was like 16, like hormonal, but that was all fake and pretend. This was like real. Like, I wanted to be out. Like, I wanted to end my life, and it was done. Like, I was, screw this. Like,
Which this story is so fascinating to me, and I see it a lot. Is people think that wealth creates happiness. Still.
that's what we're taught.
People
growing
think,
up.
yeah. And it's so interesting to me. It's not that I like it, but I almost do when I meet people that are really wealthy and unhappy. Because it just continually proves to me that that is not what creates happiness. And
It's like, no.
It's an internal job.
It is. Completely.
And it's what you have basically been doing for the last couple of years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's your practice.
Yes.
And you just got back from Vipassana.
Vipassana.
10 days. I mean, do you want to tell people what that
Yeah.
is in case they don't
Sure.
know?
So from that company, I ended up selling those 2 companies and starting this company about 5 years ago, which was about meditation and natural healing and just getting in tune with yourself and who you are. And so more recently, I came back from a 10-day silent meditation. So a 10-day silent meditation it was pretty hard. I didn't talk to anyone for 10 days. I ate only 2 meals a day, vegan, vegetarian. And the last meal was like a fruit and tea, so kind of not really
Yeah.
a meal. And I meditated for 10 hours a day for those 10 days.
Which I think people don't understand. Like, first of all, when you're meditating and you're not moving and you're sitting there for 10 hours, you don't need to eat a lot of food.
You
So
don't.
your digestion is totally different.
Exactly.
But I think the biggest thing what's so interesting is, as a yoga teacher, people ask me about how do they meditate, and some people can't even sit with themselves for 5 minutes in
hard.
silence.
Oh, I
Let
wanted
alone-
to escape.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
The first
Like,
3
is
or
it-
4 days
and,
were like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm planning my escape.
Yeah.
Like, this is not for me.
and everybody that I've talked to that have done that, I've yet to do a 10-day meditation, but they say the same thing. Like day 3, day 4, you're like, I'm out.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And, you kind of get past it. And then like day 6 was like these like light bulbs were going off. I was like, oh my God, like realization after realization after realization about my life and how I'm showing up and how I'm maybe attached to certain things, or maybe not even attached, but the opposite, which is like, I don't want certain things in my life, and how we react to those things, and how deep of a subconscious trigger that is, and we don't even realize we're doing it every second of the day. So it teaches you how to become aware of your thoughts before it turns into reality almost.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like mind over matter, like true mind over matter.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
I mean, I'm a big advocate of like everything you need is inside of you, and you have
Mhm.
to be silent in order to
Mhm.
hear what your knowingness is trying to
Mhm.
tell you. But a lot of times we're so busy doing things, and I think when you practice that and you live from that place, and
Mhm.
everything you do is coming from that place, and
Exactly.
it's obvious in
It's
what you're
what I did
doing.
5,
Yeah.
6 years ago. I just gave it all up, surrendered, and I'm like, what should I do? And like ancient wisdom just kept coming up, and I was like, all right, well, I'll figure this out.
And I love that you're combining like the ancient wisdom and all the knowledge that you have with technology, and you're bringing it to the masses, and
Mhm.
it's so amazing. I'm so
Yeah.
grateful to have you in my life.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So
Same. It's awesome. There's everything I believe in life is like a mirror.
yeah,
And everything you see in life is nature. Everything we experience in life is nature, and it's just a reflection of yourself. Everything, every person, every camera set, every single interaction you have is a reflection of what's going on inside of you.
it's true. So I have to ask you, I ask all my guests, what is your golden secret?
My golden secret is, I don't know, I honestly believe that none of this is real.
Ah, we're getting trippy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's like anyone can achieve anything they want by
Mm,
just understanding that none of this is real and that like life is actually malleable and nothing is set in stone and
limitless.
nothing is like nothing will ever nothing should ever scare you or deter you from doing what you want to do. It's like
That's huge.
there's nothing there, you know? No matter.
How do you get rid of I mean, surrender I think is a huge word, but if somebody is scared to do something, what would you suggest that they do to kind of overcome that?
It's not easy.
Yeah.
I think it's just about understanding your thoughts. It's hard to not let your mind take you places.
Mm-hmm.
Your mind always is attached to something that happened to you in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So something that scared you before is going to probably scare you in the future. And then so you're anxious because something happened in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're living in fear because something happened in the past. And then you're anxious because you're scared that's going to happen again in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So presence is pretty much always the key, is being as present as you can so you're not attached to any of those directions. It's
Yes.
just right now. Whatever's
Yeah.
going on right now is what's the reality of life at this moment.
I absolutely agree, and I've been really trying to practice that this past year, I would say.
It's hard in
Being
this
present.
kind of society we live in
Yeah.
and everything, but
There's a lot going on.
practice.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank
Amish,
you.
for coming. Yay!
Thanks.